Oh my goodness, look at this. We're gonna make that awesome pizza cutter start to finish. I'm gonna show you everything you need, and we're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. I'm gonna make this as simple as possible. And before we even start, safety in your shop. I have gloves, I have glasses, a well-ventilated area. I'll be safe in my shop, you be safe in your shop. Pretty please be safe. Welcome to another Alumilite video they invited me to do. In case you don't know me, I'm Jake Thompson from the YouTube channel Jake Thompson. Alumilite, I do all kinds of stuff. We have a show that we do every Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time called Saturday Morning Cartoons. Come and see us, we do stuff like this all the time. We're gonna make this pizza cutter today, start to finish. I'm gonna cast it, put it on the lathe, go through all of the steps, sanding, polishing, all of that stuff. So let's get started. I need to show you what you need first of all. This is the pizza cutter kit from exoticblanks.com, and it's pretty cool. There's a threaded insert. We're gonna have to glue that in, and this will be used later. We need some wood and a mold to pour into, so this is gonna be it right here. And just a note, whatever you use for the wood needs to be deeper than those threads. So this is stabilized maple burl, and it's also dye stabilized, so it's green. And this is one of my molds, Jake Blank molds. I also have ones that do 3 at a time, but we're doing simple stuff today. We're gonna use Alumilite Clear Slow, and that's it. No colors, we're not complicating this. We're just gonna do it super simple. So the first thing I need to do is get this mixed up. But just a side note here, I had this in an oven at 150 degrees for about a half an hour. If you've ever casted anything into a cold mold, the sides start to shrink up. It like makes a dent in there. It pulls away from the silicone. So, and we blast the moisture out of this wood too, because Clear Slow, the urethanes don't like moisture. So just a side note, before you cast something like this, go ahead and just put your mold in the oven for a little bit. You don't have to go crazy. And the other thing is, normally when we're casting these, we're doing color separation and we're waiting for it to be about 105 degrees. So if we do that, we have a cold mold and 100-degree resin, it's not gonna work as well together. So we kind of want those at the same temperature. I've had this out for a while. We're not gonna shoot for a temperature on this one. We're just gonna mix it up real quick. We're only doing one color, so I'll stop yapping and go ahead and mix this stuff. It's good enough for me. That looks well mixed. Oh, look at all those bubbles in there. That's why we need a pressure pot here in a second. Check this out. Super simple. This should be cool. Into the pressure pot with it. And now we just come back in 2 hours. We'll demold this thing and check it out. See you in 2 hours. Here we are 2 hours later. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the pressure pot. We'll check it out. Ooh, look at this. This is the extra stuff that was in there. Crystal clear. Check this out. Look how cool that is. You just kind of break the seal from around the side of it. Pull it out of there. Look at that. Those are just little dimples on the top of it, if you can see that. I'm gonna turn right out. That is a crystal clear cast right there. Now, these resins take 7 days to fully cure, and I'm gonna go ahead and wait that time before I go ahead and turn this. Otherwise, I could turn it right now, but then after it does cure, the resin will shrink a little bit and you'll be able to tell the difference between the wood and the resin. You'll be able to feel it more. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this about a week to cure. Side note on that, it is curing. It's set up and it's solidified, but it's still in the curing process. That's why I'm wearing gloves. If you was to touch this right now and then touch your eyes or whatever, then it would irritate them. So wear gloves when you're demolding this stuff, and we'll see you in about a week. Probably not that long, but about a week. It's been about a week later. We need to put a threaded insert in this, and I will show you how, and I'll show you what it is, and I'll show you what it does. But first of all, look at that. So basically we just got it squared up. I cut it with a table saw. You can do it with a bandsaw or whatever, or just pour it to the appropriate depth. I like overfilling it a little bit, but let's do this. I'm gonna go ahead, this is an easy wood chuck, and it has the extended jaws. We're gonna go ahead and put this in here. First of all, you need to know which side that you want to have the threads in. I think you want it to be the biggest side. So put it in here like this and tighten it up. The next thing we're gonna do is put this Forstner bit up here, and it's gonna do a couple things. It's gonna give us a center point on this so we can drill it in a second, and it's gonna make sure this is flat. So our hardware is gonna look good on this. So let's go ahead. It's only about 500 RPM. And that's flat, and it has a nice little center point there. So we'll switch this Forstner bit out for a drill bit. As you can see, I have the tape on here. It kind of gives me a guide to where I don't want to go deeper than that. I do actually want to go just a little bit deeper because the threads on that pizza cutter hardware are a little bit deeper. So I'm going to go all the way, make sure I go all the way to this. That's going to press fit in there. So let's get some glue made up real quick. A couple of things we're going to do. This is just a 3/8 bolt. It fits in these threads here. I'm just going to put it on there like this, and I'm just going to put it in the Jacob's chuck. And that way we can press it in there straight with that. I want to get plenty in here, but I don't want it running out and getting all over our threads and getting us stuck like that. So I'll just go ahead and get it all the way to the bottom there. Pretty good. And then get some around our piece here. And we just press it in with the tailstock here. I can see a little bit of excess trying to come out there, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it up so it doesn't get on our threads. And then continue to press. Make sure it's fully seated in there. I'm gonna leave this here overnight, and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll turn this thing. Here we are the next day. We're gonna go ahead and turn this thing today. I'm gonna show you a couple things first. Make sure to always wear your safety equipment. I will be wearing this, but let's show you a couple things first. First, we have this bolt that I cut off that just went in there to hold it straight. We're gonna take it out of there. Pretty nice. Here's the stuff that we're gonna use. This is the kit from Exotic Blanks. How it's gonna work, we put that threaded insert in there. This is gonna thread in there like that at the end of it. So now we need to put a mandrel on. And the mandrel, all that's gonna do, it's gonna thread in here just like this, except for it's gonna hold it to the lathe. Here's a couple different styles of mandrels. Here, right here. This, if I took this chuck off, this would thread right onto the threads that hold the chuck on. Or this is a new one from Easy Wood Tools. It's gonna go right in the chuck. So I think I'm gonna use this one today. Let me get this on here. Now we just attach our blank on there with the threads. We hold this. This is just a piece of plastic. Put it on there. I could just shove this right up there, but I don't want that to stab that and we'll waste material. So I'm just gonna put this in here like this. Tighten it up a little bit. And it should be good to go, nice and safe and on there securely. Next, the cutting tools I'm gonna be using are from Easy Wood Tools, and it has a negative rake on it. It's way better for resin. It comes off easy. It doesn't want to chip or anything like that. This is the tool I use for resin all the time. So it just needs to be level with the center line of this, and you just cut like that. And let me get my helmet on and let's get started. Just before we start, the width of this mandrel is the width of the width of that we need this blank to fit on the pizza cutter right. So we cut down to that. It's going to be pretty much exactly what we need for it to look right on that hardware. So let's get started. You start getting ribbons like that, they can tell that you're pretty round. And for the most part, this thing's round. There's a couple of square spots right there. No big deal. We're on the right track here. So I'm gonna shape this first how I want it, and then I'll just do the rest of it. So enjoy. Whew, that's pretty cool. Look at that. I need a little flat spot right there. I need to get that cleaned up and kind of make sure there's no big ridges in here. And I'll get it all finished up, and then we'll start the next step. It's pretty cool. Now I need to turn off the end right here and make it the nice shape, and then we'll get to sanding. We're gonna go ahead and sand this, and I have in-depth tutorials on how to sand resin to a glass finish. We're not going to do this here today. I'm just going to kind of briefly explain it. You do dry sandpaper, 120 to 400, and then we're going to go to some wet sandpaper called zona paper, and it does by colors, and it's going to go to like 6,000 or 8,000 grit, but it's only like three more steps. And I'll show you here, and then we're going to go to magic juice. But first things first, let's sand this, and I'm going to use a drill with some sandpaper on it. This is beginner kind of thing, so you could get this turned to almost perfection and then sand it. Most of us aren't going to be able to do that, so we just turn it to the basic shape we want, and then we sand it, get all the ridges out of it, and then we have something cool. So let's get to sanding. This is just sanded to 240, and we're already going to be able to see how cool it is. This is denatured alcohol. All I'm doing is cleaning off this old grit. And we can kind of already see how cool it's going to be. This here is called Lathe Buddy. It's waterproof on the bottom. You can see that, and has a nice material on the top. There's magnets to your lathe, so you don't have to mess around. So now you don't have to worry about water getting on your lathe. This is what zona paper looks like, and we're gonna go from green to pink, and it's 600 to 8,000, just in 4 grits. This is pretty cool, and this stuff lasts a long time. I've had this for a while. On these, if I was hand sanding from the start, I would, with the lathe on, sand this way and then stop and go this way. When I'm with the drill, it's kind of doing it already, but when I'm doing this, I'll go sideways like this, just to try to offset those radial lines that it's making. At this point, it's already sanded pretty good, so it's not that big a deal, but I am in the habit of doing this, so it's not. If I didn't do this, I'd probably feel bad, but this is going to be awesome. And we're almost done with this grit. 3 more grits. One last shot of denatured alcohol, and we'll get to this last step. Look how nice that's going to be. This stuff is called Magic Juice. There's 6 steps. It's a friction polish. So we're gonna go a high RPM. I'll probably go 2800 or so. And you're gonna put this on there and then work it in. It's gonna get hot. You could actually double up on your paper towels or whatever, but it's gonna get hot and you'll see. And as soon as it turns clear, you're pretty much done, and you'll see that in a second. And I'll go ahead and do this. And you can put this on here and then rub it in and then turn it on. I'm gonna show you how I like to do it. It does take the lathe a couple seconds to get up to speed. Turn it on, and I'm gonna smear this on here at the same time. I think that is about it. Look at that. Look at that. Pretty cool. Let's do step 2, and we'll just continue on. Oops. Let this sit for a few minutes, and then we'll screw this on. Get this off of here. Goodness. Let me get this screwed on here, and then we'll give you a close-up at the end. How about that? I enjoyed making this video for you, and hopefully I took the intimidation out of this entire process, from the casting, turning, polishing. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and watch another Alumilite video right here.